Hello everybody, welcome and welcome back to my channel, A Day in the Life of Rhea. Thanks for stopping by and tuning in, and welcome to today's video. So in today's video, I would like to share my story time about how my ex ruined our Vegas vacation. So I'm going to jump straight into it. So basically, our relationship was on the last thread anyway, but unfortunately, I had already paid for the trip and couldn't get my money back, and I actually told them that. So I had paid for most of the trip. So they had an attitude because they had to pay $500 towards a trip, but I mean, I didn't get that kind of treatment for any of my birthdays, but whatever. So we was about to leave out for the trip, and of course they pissed me off. They did something, I don't even remember what. I was looking up about to be able to cancel the trip, and unfortunately I couldn't. So I had to go through with the trip, and I told them, I said, I'm only going on this trip because I can't get my money back. I said, once we get back from this vacation, we can be done and go our separate ways. I don't know how I expected us to have a nice trip after saying something like that, but it was what it was. So anyway, we're about to go on a trip. We're leaving to go to the airport. And, you know, of course, their energy and their vibes is just all off. And I'm so sensitive to the energy around me. That's why I just stay to myself most of the time, because I'm just sensitive to anybody else's emotions that's around me. And I don't have time for that. So anyway, we get to Vegas and we check in. Everything is fine. But of course, their attitude is still nasty. So I just wanted to get away from them. So I decided to take me a nice hot bath and get me some wine and just relax. I don't know if it was when we got there or before, but I know that they had went in my phone, and they don't know that I saw that they was in my phone, right? I didn't have a lock on my phone at that time. I didn't have anything to hide. So anyway, I was like, all right, I got something for them. I'm going to make them tell them themselves. So I put a lock on my phone and kindly set it down on the table, and I went in the bathroom. I think I might have locked the bathroom door because I already knew they was going to act crazy once they found out that I had a lock on my phone. All right, so I'm in the bathroom thinking I'm going to relax, knowing I probably wouldn't because they were going to be mad that I put a lock on my phone. So not long after I get in the tub and start sipping and trying to relax, here they come banging at the door. You got a lock on this phone? Take this lock off this phone. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. So I'm like, I'll take it off when I get out the tub. So you're not going to take this lock off this phone? I said, when I get out the tub, I'll take it off. So they come busting through the bathroom door. There goes my me time of relaxation. So they fussing at me to take the lock off the phone. And I'm like, I already told you, when I get out the tub, I'll take it off. So you're not going to take this lock off this phone? Like I said, when I get out the tub, I'll take it off. So I guess they call themselves giving me one last chance to take the lock off the phone, right? So I'm just sitting there in the tub. So next thing you know, boom, throw my phone on the floor, just shattered, broke all over the place. I'm like, Lord, I just cannot win. So they still going off because I didn't say nothing. I'm just sitting there like what am I going to do? So next thing, they pick up my drink. Boom, throw it at me while I'm in the tub. Luckily, it wasn't a glass cup and it was plastic, but still, like, that's just crazy. So I'm like, so I don't know what they're going to do after this point. Like, you know, crazy people, you never know. So I get out the tub and just trying to put some clothes on or whatever. And I was trying to, like, sneak out, but I knew they wasn't going to let me leave out. Like, they crazy. So they called themselves trying to get in the tub and get ready for the day. So I tried to sneak out the door while they was in the tub. And of course, they caught on to it and ran out and blocked the door. So I couldn't get out. And so I don't know if we was tussling or what, or they broke the picture on a wall on purpose or what. But they broke the picture in the hotel. Of course, it went on my bill because I was the one who paid for the trip. Lucky me. So I had to wait for a while until I knew they was all like soaked up. And so I was like sneaking out the door at that point. And like I got the door open. I was going out the door and they hurried up and ran and like tried to catch me. But like I was already out the door when they tried to grab me. And I like hurry up and got away from them. So tell me why the door closed behind them and they did not have no clothes on. They were sitting in the hallway of the hotel floor. Let me show you how they were sitting. They on the hotel floor. They out in the hallway like this. And I'm the only one with the room key. I just started running down the hallway thinking they going to be running behind me. But I forgot that they was naked. So I got to the end of the hallway and I'm like, wait a minute. So I went back. I'm peeking around the corner and nobody is in sight. So I'm tiptoeing back down the hallway. So I'm looking at them and they sitting on the floor, butt naked. So I'm like, if I let you back in this room, don't mess with me. So I went up to the door. So I'm trying to stay back from them. So I hurry up and put the key at the door and try to push it real quick and let them push the door on their own. But it didn't unlock. So I had to do it again. So they pushed the door open. I guess they realized I had the upper hand, so they wasn't bothering me at this point. So I let them back in the room and I just left. So, you know, you in another town, you don't know where you're going, you don't have no phone. So I was like, I'm just going to get on the bus and just try to look around for somewhere. I was going to try to get another phone. So I'm just standing there looking at all these buses come by, not knowing where I'm going. So eventually I just jumped on one of the buses and I'm just riding around. I'm getting further and further away from the strip and it's like nothing else really around. So eventually I just got off the bus and I'm just walking around trying to look for a store. And luckily the stop that I got off, it was some little shopping center that I didn't even know it was a shopping center, but it was a shopping center and they had a T-Mobile store there. I was so happy about that. So I went in there trying to get a phone. And of course, you know, you got phone insurance. You don't want to buy a new phone when you know you can get back into town and order another phone. So I wasn't trying to pay a whole bunch of money for the phones and they was quite expensive. So luckily, me being me, cheap and frugal, I seen this little T629 or T6189. I'll try to find a picture and insert the phone that I peeped on a little stand in the back. So I'm like, how much is that phone? I think it was like $68. I was like, oh yeah. So I got that phone, put my little SIM card in there. I'm good to go. So I get back on the bus to go back into town to my hotel. So I'm texting them like, are you still at the hotel? Because I really don't want to go back there and deal with all the drama. Of course, if they were still there, they would have lied anyway and said that they wasn't there. But anyway, they said they wasn't there at the hotel room. So I'm like prolonging, not wanting to go back up there. So I actually went and got me a tattoo. It was a tattoo parlor down in the lobby of my hotel. So I went there and I got this tattoo. I was just feeling so alone. You can't even see it, okay? Trust no one. That's just how I was feeling. So anyway, I went and got that tattoo. And I think our excursion was booked for that day. The limousine was supposed to come pick us up, take us to the helicopter company. The helicopter flies over top of the Grand Canyon, drop down in the Grand Canyon, and you have like a champagne picnic dinner. That was so nice because they always wanted to go to Vegas. They always wanted to see the Grand Canyon. And I found a trip to combine both of them. Like, people are just so ungrateful. And like, they would find any little thing to complain about, like, because I didn't tell them where we were going, they wasn't prepared to be properly dressed or dressed up as much as they wanted to be. Like, you know, people just find any reason to be mad. Like, when you're miserable inside, you just find any reason to be mad about anything and mad at everybody for anything that's not even their fault. But anyway, so I'm asking them if they still going on an excursion or whatever. So the limousine come picks us up, and of course they still got an attitude. I'm like, just being around somebody with the wrong energy or bad energy, bad vibes, they just ruin the experience, you know? So anyway, we in the limousine. They got a nasty attitude. We on our way there to the helicopter company. We get to the helicopter place and we sit up there arguing in the daggone place. The people got wind of it and they told me that, you know, they wasn't going to let us go up because of, you know, us arguing. You wouldn't want somebody to be in a helicopter and they up there arguing and fighting. That is so embarrassing. So, like, it came time for us to get ready to go up. And they was like, you know, are y'all going to be able to, you know, handle yourselves well? And I'm like, I'm fine. It was like, no, both of you need to be fine. So I'm just like looking at them like, they still got an attitude. They not saying nothing. I'm like, are you going to be able to behave yourself or not? So they probably still was ignoring me. But eventually they decided to let us go. And we walking out to get on the helicopter. And I'm taking pictures with this little T6189 phone, like... So anyway, we getting on the helicopter and we flying up, things is cool. And I think I actually got them to say happy birthday to them on the earphones that we was wearing. So that probably made them feel a little special. So anyway, we flying down, going down into the Grand Canyon, and we land in the Grand Canyon. And you know, they started walking around looking at the nice view, and they kind of like went off to like the little cliff area, like where you can get like a panoramic view of the whole Grand Canyon and like the lake down there below. And just, you know, I guess they started taking it all in and realizing like what they was actually experiencing, and I could just feel like their energy shifting or whatever. So, you know, we started having our little picnic, champagne dinner down in the Grand Canyon. And, you know, things was cool. So anyway, we flying back through the Grand Canyon over Vegas as the sun is setting. And it was just such a nice, beautiful experience to see or whatever. I guess, you know, they had a change of thought or a change of heart of how they was feeling, whatever, and they decided to get themselves together. So once we got back to the hotel, they was trying to pamper me. They wanted to get me a facial, get my eyebrows done, my nails done, my hair done. I don't even do all of that. Like, I'm just kind of like a plain Jane, basically. But it's like they contradicted themselves, because how are you mad that you had to spend $500 on your own trip, but then to try to butter me up and make up for your behavior, now all of a sudden you want to spend all this money on me when it's not even my birthday? So that didn't even make sense to me. But anyway, so towards the last of the trip, so we're doing little excursions and everything like that, and that part turned out to be okay. But you know, basically the whole trip was just ruined. But luckily I had to do over of that trip with a friend the next time, and that was a really nice trip, so that was cool. So that's that. So anyway, if you made it this far, I thank you so much for watching. And if you would like to hear more stories like this, or anything travel, or any videos about my travel experiences and where I decide to go, consider subscribing. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.